Welcome to a night in the asylum. It's Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. As if you didn't know, time to talk tech and tequila with Jen and Darren.
I can't hear anyone. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Oh, Darren's having technical difficulties.
Yeah. He can't go on mute.
Oh my God, there I am.
You're a mess. What is happening?
Oh my God, I had myself muted because I was hearing an echo when I was playing the intro and I thought something is not right.
I did hear the echo.
Here's the thing, Darren. When you go on mute, it doesn't record the audio when you're streaming live.
Oh, thank you, Joe, for that tip.
Yeah.
Oh, well. C'est la vie. So we're live. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. What's the date, Jen? The 12th?
Today is the 13th.
The 13th.
Yes.
We're live. 844. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not our number. Our new number is...
Are you drunk? What's happening?
Our new number is 855-366-9653. And you can feel free to call in. We are standing by with our phone. How are you, Jen?
I'm doing good. We forgot to mention, and sometimes Joe in the beginning.
It's most of the time.
Jen is being Manuel tonight. That's what her name says on the YouTube live link. YouTube live.
I want to know, Darren, what do you have against me? Like, do you not like me or something?
I have everything against you, Joe, because you push my buttons.
I feel like you have a personal grudge against me because I feel like it's the Jen. It's the
it is the Jen and Darren show, you know.
It's nothing. It is nothing.
We're still waiting for you to be there every week, like we are.
For if you can go 6 weeks solid.
I did. I proved that. I went 6 weeks solid.
No, you missed the last 2 weeks
because my kids have things, and my kids are more special than you guys. So
it's true.
I have to let you go on that one.
So listen. I just got a text. There's no video right now on YouTube. So
yeah, all I'm seeing is a black screen. I'm telling you, Darren is a hot mess today.
Oh, let me try it again. It says it's streaming, but
it does say streaming, but I see a black screen as well.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Oh, I know why. Because I'm sharing my desktop. There we are.
Oh God, you're a mess there.
He is a big time mess.
Oh, maybe it's marijuana I had earlier today.
What? That is definitely
no, that's not true.
You are a little giddy.
I've had a long day, and I'm going to California on Friday. I've had like 12-hour days. It's long for me.
So is this going to be your first trip? No, right? Since the pandemic, you went to Chicago. I
went to Chicago in March of last year. And that's when the woman was coughing next to me.
Oh.
But I didn't get COVID, so I should be fine.
Darren, what do you do exactly for a living?
What do you mean, what do I do for a living? You work with me.
You're in IT, right?
It's actually much
IT,
different.
Right?
It's IT. It's not the creative department that we had at JK. So it's all the technology stuff.
I need your help setting up some DNS and name servers.
For what? Later. What are you doing, Jan?
Website for the gym that's launching, and I messed everything up.
You messed up. What happened to Lance?
That's part of why I was late, is because I was like, oh crap, I just deleted or something. I have backups of everything, but I deleted stuff accidentally.
Who helped you with this before?
I did it, but I haven't. Every time I do it, I'm rusty and I forget what I did, and then I mess it up and I have to fix it. So
we'll fix that later.
Okay,
Joe, what's our topic tonight? Because it's your topic.
What's our topic? Why is it always my topic?
When one of us picks,
I'm on.
When one of us picks a topic, which Joe did tonight, then you have to live up to it.
Yeah. All right. So we have two, right? So we're
at one.
No, we're gonna have two. We're gonna have two because we can't talk about guilty pleasures for an hour. At least I can't. Maybe I can. I don't know.
I'm sure we'll drift out the topics.
The other one was celebrity crushes.
So we did that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can drift to it if you like. But
I have a very, very deep list, so I think it'll add a
Whoa.
little bit
Well, we haven't heard yours, so yours are just
exactly.
Did he just say he has a deep lisp?
list.
Oh,
list.
Okay. I heard that wrong.
Oh,
I have a deep lisp.
All right.
So I think the first part of this whole thing about guilty pleasures I struggle with, because when we were kind of prepping in advance, it's I feel like you have to have, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say you have to have a conscience, because I have a conscience in order to feel guilty about a guilty pleasure. But I'm struggling. So I want to hear what you guys think is your guilty pleasure, and maybe it will inspire me to.
Joe said that his is porn. So
No, I'm not doing that.
Are you going to talk about which porn sites you like, Joe?
Listen, my in-laws might be listening right now.
So living for words.
Well, then that just got awkward.
Is that one of them?
Awkward. If I go on the internet, I look at church sites. That's all I do.
Church sites, perfect.
And prayers, and every night with Kelly, we say prayers, and that's.
Joe, when was the last time you were in a church?
Me? Not long ago. Like
really?
Probably. Yeah. No.
What's your religion?
Church. Catholic. Roman Catholic.
Really? You were born Catholic?
Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic.
Wow. I didn't know that about you.
I was an altar boy for many years, and very proud.
Is that what happened to you, Joe?
Exactly.
That was just the beginning of it all. That was the tip of the iceberg, my friend.
I was brought up Catholic also, not Roman Catholic, but he was never an altar boy, so you didn't get molested.
Oh my God, you're so bad.
I'm not
I was also Roman Catholic. I had all the what are the sacraments? Not all of them, but
you were Roman Catholic too.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is Ecuadorian.
Holy
South
crap.
Americans are mostly
very
Catholic. Yeah.
I feel so evil right now.
You are.
I didn't say I'm religious. That's just what I was brought up. Yeah.
I can't say I'm religious, but I do kind of default to those, feelings of being Catholic and the right and wrong. But some things I just don't subscribe to. So,
Joe, are you spiritual? Do you believe there's?
Am I spiritual? I believe there's a God, but my analytical science brain says otherwise. So it's a bit of a conflict for me.
Have you read any of these books where people have died and come back and what their experiences were?
Yeah.
Did you say read books? Who reads books about near-death experience? Movies.
Apparently Darren does.
I mentioned one on the air, Jen. I mentioned one on the air. I think you were a host at the time, unless it was Kevin or somebody, that there was a brain surgeon who never believed in life after death because, he always saw things with the analytical view.
Mm-hmm.
He had contracted meningitis in the brain. And he died, and he was pronounced dead, I guess, for a while. But then he came back, and people that typically were in his condition would never recover, and he did. And he describes his experience in the afterlife of what he believes now was the afterlife. And he met his sister, who he never knew he had. And there was some research that he conducted after he came out of all this. And sure enough, he found his unknown sister. That's who he met in his dream.
Huh.
It's bizarre.
I mean, that kind of is, I'm going through this, let's call it a phase where I'm starting to think about, how real are actually intelligent life in other solar systems. And, outside of ours.
Me too.
And I saw a really, really interesting documentary that I watched twice. It was so good.
What was it?
It was about his name is escaping me. He's a really well-known scientist that used to work for S1, which was like the Area 51. S1 was actually where the alien stuff was, not the living aliens, but he started to talk about all of this technology that they were exposed to. And he was talking about, we don't know how it works. We don't know what it is, and describing how through physics they can explain it, but they don't know how to recreate it. It was fascinating. I guess that's my guilty pleasure. Aliens.
Yeah, there you go.
You and Patrick get along fine because that's his guilty pleasure.
Aliens,
Sasquatch, and ugh.
I don't know about Sasquatch. I'm not there yet.
I love anything that has to do with aliens. I'm with you, Jen. Like I think about this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not, dumb enough to think that we're the only intelligent life in this, universe and space. And there's just so many variances of human life, and what those variances, the form they take, could be something that we just don't comprehend at all.
Yeah.
So to me, it could be life could be something so minuscule, but highly intelligent that we would never detect it, or our intelligence or science has not detected it yet.
Well, and we also make a lot of these assumptions that humans or aliens from other planets breathe oxygen and have human body shapes. These are all assumptions that we have.
Yeah,
and,
that's Earth, like, humanoids, so to speak. So many different types of life can, breathe on hydrogen gases or helium gases, which most of gas planets and suns or made out of, or stars that are made out. We have no clue what the type of life form they are, and our consciousness is all we know. Our math is all we know.
Yeah.
So our math tells us this is what it is. This is what life is, but not necessarily what is out there. We're in this, basically in this, really tight circumference of human understanding. We need to reach outside those rings.
Well, I think, and I just looked up the name, and Joe, you will really like it if you like aliens. It's called Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. Yeah, he's very well known. Anyway, what he was saying kind of, it's kind of depressing because it feels like we're so dumb, kind of, compared to
Speak for yourself.
the technology and the aliens that come here, and how they can bend the fabric of space and time, and they don't adhere to the rules of travel like we do. That's how they can get from galaxy to galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Like, what?
You've heard of, you've heard of
listen, Darren, we're having a guilty pleasure right now.
I gotta interject here. So
wait.
Speaking of warp or going to other planets or whatever, did you hear a couple months ago? This Star Trek and all these shows where they have warp drive, they go into other planets, and it's always been outside of the physics reality. A couple months ago, I'm not sure if I pronounced this right, Alexei Bobrick and Gianni Martyr, they wrote a paper describing how warp drive can now be a reality in known physics.
Warp drive means traveling faster than the speed of light.
Right. You can't. But if you recall anything that you've learned from Einstein about the fabric of space. So say, for instance, you have this big fabric, right? Every object bends time and space. So you have this big fabric, right? And if you put Earth on that fabric, it's going to bend that fabric right down a little bit. So it has weight, it has mass, it bends light. So Einstein's idea is, if you are able to control mass and weight, you can bend that fabric upon itself. So if you laid out fabric, right, say it's a 10-foot by 10-foot fabric for, it's a demonstration of scale. If you bent that fabric in half, well, two ends meet, well, you're bending time and space,
Right.
right?
Well, and this is what Bob Lazar in that show kind of blew my mind. Was one of the spacecraft that they found. They didn't understand because it wasn't propulsion. Propulsion means something. There's an exit or like a exhaust.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this
yeah.
one didn't have exhaust. He's like, imagine if you put a bowling ball in the middle of a mattress, and then you
Exactly.
took
Yep.
your fist, and then like 6 inches away from the bowling ball, you press down. The ball would roll towards your hand.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you
So you're bending
imagine,
space.
right? So that's how this aircraft that they found moves. It actually bends
Oh,
space
wow.
in front of it, and it rolls forward. It doesn't
Yeah,
propel
that's cool.
forward.
Yeah.
Really
So
cool.
that's that is now theoretically possible, or not even theoretically, but in the known laws of physics now, based on the research of these two people, they believe that they have found a way to do this within
That's amazing.
Yeah,
within the
I mean,
theory.
it's still a theory, but
Right.
until they do it, it comes reality, right? So,
but one
I mean-
step closer.
Well, and
Yeah.
then the other thing they're saying is a lot of our technological advances have come from alien technology that we found on Earth. So micro processors, microchips, all the small electronics came from stuff that Area 51 and S1 was dealing with. Same with
Yep.
like finger sensors, biometric stuff.
yep,
Same
yep,
thing.
yep. So, I mean, either we are the craziest sounding people in the world, or
Could
you know,
be.
when
I mean, it could be. I have no way to prove
when
either way.
when it all comes out, we're the most forward-thinking, smartest people in the world. But I'll say this: is where we are in a mass society when something happens that most of us don't understand, the average intelligence, we freak out, and there's a pandemic, right? Everybody freaks
does
out.
that
We don't-
Wait, what?
what
Say that
I'm
again.
what I'm saying is, if the mass society doesn't understand something,
Mhm.
and the government said, "Hey, yes, there's aliens, and we've known it for 60 years. We have all this technology. We're trying to understand whatever." I do not believe for an instant that most people would be calm about that. It would be the end of days. They'd be freaking out, and there would be mass hysteria.
I think that what the government or whoever it is, I don't know, whoever is in charge of this stuff, because I think even the president doesn't have insight into a lot of the stuff that happens in S1.
Why would he? Right.
Is they've done a really good job of making people that talk about aliens sound like whack jobs. And I think that was by design, so that anytime they're like, we saw a spaceship, people are like, wow, you sound crazy. And
well,
that's the whole thing.
I don't even think it's just that. It's it's something that's so unknown. It's just like religion. A lot of people who are like really into religion are like whack jobs. And maybe they are. Maybe they're not.
But these
But
people have seen, touched,
I know.
disassembled alien
Yeah.
stuff.
And then they're so quickly to dismiss this as a psychological problem, mental problem, mental health, whatever. They're crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like,
I'm a
I
fan
think-
of Bob Lazar now. I'm like, he's my new.
I love all that stuff. Like I said, but it's been way too many movies and sci-fi things like in science fiction. It's deeply rooted in science fiction, and I don't think there's any way to get around that besides
Did
facts
you-
and showing people.
Did you hear about John Ratcliffe's comment?
About what? About
He-
aliens?
He said recently that in June, a large government report will be made public about what the government has known about UFOs.
Mm.
That's all we need right now with everything else going on. That's the
Run
last
for
thing
the
we need.
hills!
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as it sounds, because they'll probably redact a lot of the information, or it'll be vague. Like, we don't understand the technology, but it's
Yeah.
weird stuff
I'm not
like
sure
that.
if I agree with the advanced technology thing, but I do believe that there's other types of life forms and consciousness out there. I'm not sure. if
Absolutely.
it's-
How could there not be? Come on.
Right.
How can there not?
In this
Mathematically
universe.
speaking, yeah.
Right.
By the
So,
way,
I mean-
the book I was talking about for the brain surgeon, he's a neurosurgeon, and the book is called Proof of Heaven, a neurosurgeon's journey into the afterlife. And the author is Eben Alexander. 4.5
Interesting.
stars on Amazon
Cool.
out of
That sounds-
15,000 reviews. It's a good book.
All right, let's stop being really super nerdy and go back to
I had one more thing, but fine, I'll drop it. Anyway, that was my
drop
guilty
it, Jen.
pleasure. Yeah,
I think we're really kind of limiting the audience with our crazy alien talk.
it's not crazy. It's
We're
real.
gonna be on one of those shows. Look at these crazy people.
I always wonder, like, how do you make them come to you and like
And take your body,
abduct you?
take your body for
Whatever.
experiments. Jen, stand up on your roof
Jen,
tonight.
I honestly
Wave
think
your
they would take
arms.
they would put you right back. Like, we don't want her anymore. We were wrong.
Do you really want them to be sticking their needles and stuff and prodding you? It's like, oh, no,
No,
thanks.
I just want to like get in their spacecraft and travel through space time
wanna do that too.
continuum.
Yeah.
So weird. Oh my God.
Anyway,
All right, so guilty pleasure. What are my guilty pleasures? You ready for this?
Yes, we're listening.
Okay. I'm not embarrassed to say it because I don't care. I'm a romantic kind of guy.
Mhm.
And there's certain types of movies that I like, right?
And you cry at all these movies.
No, I cry at one of these big time because it's like uber romantic. It's like, oh my God.
like the Notebook. Oh man,
Yes.
is that it?
I love me some Notebook.
Of all the romance movies, I feel like guys like the Notebook the most because it's like really
That's the jam.
touching.
Like,
It's touching.
it is. It's like, I think everybody wants to find that person they connect with and they get along with, no matter what. I mean, you've seen the movie. They fight constantly, but they still have this connection. They're just always want to be together. They can't live without each other.
Yep.
Always to the time where I don't want to give anything away.
Spoiler alert.
But too bad. Spoiler alert. Always to the end when she has Alzheimer's and she doesn't know who she is, but he doesn't care.
Oh my God.
His home is with
That's gonna
her.
be me.
That's what he says. And
You know what?
Well,
Well
Pesci
is always like, because I have bad memory. He's like, oh man, this is going to be like the Notebook. Every day I have to remind you why you love me, who I am, all of the things.
Yeah, he tells me all
And
the time when I have Alzheimer's, he's putting me in a home.
No, he
No,
doesn't
if-
tell you
No ifs,
that.
ands, or buts. Yes, he does. I want him
Well,
to put
maybe-
me in a home.
You
I don't
want
want
him
his
to?
I don't want him to have to
Yeah.
deal with that. I see it in my father all the time. It's like
Yeah.
that is such heart wrenching and very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, because it's not you anymore.
family.
You're just like a shell
A shell
that
yeah.
he's taking care of, basically.
But
Right.
that's what your promise is when you get married, right? Is the good times, the bad times, everything. So
But putting him in a
hope-
home is taking care of him
that
still.
might be put me in a home. My Kelly better fucking take care of me.
Kelly is going to put you in a home. He
No,
can't take
she's
care
here-
of you.
she's
You don't
here to
realize how much work that is.
My
Oh,
dad
she
got
knows.
married to a
She knows.
way younger woman because he was like, my kids aren't going to take care of me. I need someone to take care of me
High
when I
five
get
to
old.
your dad.
She's over here laughing at me right now because I admitted that I like the Notebook.
Because she knows you're out of your mind.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, she thinks it's sweet.
I
think.
Why are you rolling
don't-
your eyes, Joe?
Maybe she thinks I'm the biggest wuss in the world.
You
Wait,
are a
hold-
big
hold on.
wuss, Joe. Everybody knows that about you.
All right.
That's part of his charm.
So,
Oh.
Kelly, are you
Oh,
going
thanks.
to take care of Joe if and when, or both, if he gets Alzheimer's when he gets older and he doesn't remember you?
I'm already doing that. He
Oh, there she is.
What are you two doing over there? Why are the lights off? This is like,
I can't hear you.
It's my fault. It's my fault. I hit the light. I do notice Darren doesn't have his glasses on today. They're on top of his head. I was wondering if you had like contacts or something.
No, I'm just
I was
not.
like-
I'm not writing anything right now. Usually, I'm reading something that I took notes on, and then I'm not. I'm not tonight.
I don't mean to just come in and like
Yeah, you do.
sabotage your show.
Still
I never
controlling.
watched the Notebook ever in my life.
Neither have I.
Until he and I started dating. I thought it was like I'm not like a rom-com person. I'm like murder mystery, like
Mhm.
detective, thriller. And he'll watch it. He cries every time.
Oh, Joe, I'm gonna give you a hug.
you've never seen The Notebook, Darren?
I've never seen the Notebook. No.
You'll
It's
cry.
actu-
He'll
it's
cry.
actually good, right?
It is
as
very
far
good.
as far as Nicholas Sparks movies and novels go, because I've seen a few or read a few, it's actually a good one. It's sweet.
You know, when
It's
I'm
about
on
love, love lost.
the, when I'm on the
love
plane on
gained.
Friday,
Yes.
sitting next to my coworker, I'm gonna watch The Notebook and I'm gonna start
Yes.
crying. He's gonna be like, "What
Just
are you
watch the
doing?"
Notebook and then like 50 Shades of Grey or something.
I'm gonna kill myself and then I land.
Two ends of the spectrum.
All right, get out of here. You bother me, kid.
Bye.
She has a great voice, Joe. You can
What's
tell
that?
that she was involved in radio. She has a
She
great
was.
voice.
She went to college for radio.
Communication.
Communications. Yeah.
Communication.
She knows how to use her words.
Now use words. I don't. I apparently. So
Movie's
yeah, that's
good. Me cry.
Yeah.
Like,
Notebook, and I love Wedding Crashers. There's a romantic thing to that. So
Look at
there?
your face. Joe's like cracking smiles because you just can tell like he loves this stuff. And
I
he's
don't remember
do,
Wedding
Iris, I
Crasher being
do.
romantic. No.
I grew up on John Hughes movies, and there was always that romantic or feely touch, feely good touching,
Whoa.
Whatever. I'm not saying it right, but there was always that emotional side to the stories, right? So I those movies I love, like 16
You like
Candles.
romantic comedies is your
That's
thing.
romantic comedies my jam.
That's a good guilty
Yeah.
pleasure for sure.
Yeah, but I'll also watch like Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Love them.
No, can't. I
The
don't
best.
like those movies.
Bloodsport's on. I'm watching it.
No, I have to be in a certain mood or something
No,
to watch those
love
kind
it.
of movies.
Love it.
Star Trek, Star Wars.
That's you,
Sci-
Darren.
Sci-fi. Yeah, that's me.
You're
You're a nerd.
sci-fi.
I'm a nerd.
You're
Huh.
such a nerd.
All right, here's what Pat
Interesting.
makes fun of me for.
You'll like the movie if you like sci-fi. Hold on, it's Thunder Force. It's
Thunder
It's a-
Force.
with what's her name, Jenny McCarthy, and it's like sci-fi kind of superhero kind of and a
I
comedy.
love Jenny McCarthy.
Okay.
It's really good.
I
Watch it.
I wrote that
I gotta
down.
watch that.
They go Thunder Force.
So Pat likes the same thing you guys do: aliens and Sasquatch. Life
I didn't
after
say
death.
Sasquatch for the record.
We
but yes.
both are intrigued about life
I
after
don't
death.
think neither one of us said Sasquatch at all.
So he when I come home, he usually has either HGTV on or one of his ghost shows or one of his alien shows or one of his Sasquatch shows. And then I sit and wait until he falls asleep. And then I turn on my shows. And then when he wakes up, he makes fun of me for my shows.
Which
I
are
like to watch
the alien
reality,
stuff.
like shows of people's dreams really coming true, or they think they're coming true. So
Like
I to
Miracle
watch-
on 50 something Street.
No, so I like to watch American Idol and The
Something
Voice, my two
screwy.
favorites.
Ew.
Oh,
I can't
American
stand
Voice.
those.
American Idol and The Voice.
So you
Totally
like
cool.
singing and you like what are those shows? Contests, right?
Yeah, singing contests.
Have
So
you
the
guys
vo-
seen
The theory of The Voice is that you don't get seen by the judges when they pick you. So it's all about the voice. Although people that really become popular are not from The Voice. They're from American Idol.
do you watch the one where it's like famous people dressed up in costumes, or you don't like that
no,
one?
not at
'Cause
all. That's
that
just
one
plain
is-
stupid.
What is it called? I've never seen it. I've only seen commercials.
The mask.
The
Am I
Mask?
right?
I think that's what it's called, where they sing and they're supposed to guess who's singing, and it's never
Right.
really
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
No,
I like to add that Jenny McCarthy is also on that show,
Oh, really?
and I might like her.
You like Jenny
Yeah.
McCarthy that much, huh?
I still like Jenny McCarthy. Yep.
Wait, hold on. Did I say the right name?
Smoke show.
Jenny McCarthy? No, not Jenny McCarthy.
Oh, you were.
No.
What does
The
your
other-
favorite to do
Watch
with
it.
this?
The other McCarthy. What's her name?
Oh,
Melissa McCarthy.
Who? What's her
Melissa?
name?
Melissa.
Melissa.
They're related.
Melissa McCarthy?
Or was
They're
that her
like
last
cut-
name?
Yeah.
She's
They're-
the
they're
comedian.
cousins. They're cousins.
Yes.
Melissa.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Melissa
it.
McCarthy.
Melissa
Yeah.
McCarthy.
She's
Sorry,
from
not
that
Jenny
TV show.
McCarthy.
I'm
Whatever.
like, how did I miss this one? Was
Right.
this a movie in the 90s or something?
Melissa
No,
McCarthy and Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, she's great. She was
Yeah.
in The Help.
Yes. And she
Yeah,
always
she
plays
was-
very strong, powerful Black women roles. And this is
Yeah,
no
yeah,
exception.
Yeah.
And Melissa McCarthy was in that TV show. I'm looking for the title. Mike and Molly.
Matt.
Yes.
That was
other
the
show
only
we were
TV
talking
show.
about.
That was the only TV show that Pat and I saw when we went to Hollywood when they were taping. It was good to see it all happen.
Interesting.
That show we were talking about was The Mask Singer.
The
Mask,
Masked
yeah.
Singer.
Mask.
Yeah. So one of the things that I am starting to have I guess a guilty pleasure for, speaking of shows, is something that Manuel likes, which I think is okay, but I'm liking it more because I like that he likes it and I can tolerate it, is 90 Day Fiance. Have you guys seen
What
it?
is that?
Yes. We got into that for a little bit. It's like addictive for a little while.
It is like a lot. It's about people from the US that usually are broke and old and stuff, and then they find young people in other countries
Not
to
always
marry.
like that. No.
And then they have 90 days, and then you see all the
Maybe
drama that happens.
Why are
in
you
these 90 days.
Why are you telling me to watch this, Jen? And
You'll like it.
combined with broken old. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's just like it's always the same kind of like the person in let's say Russia is young supermodel, has a lot of friends, social life, and is doing long distance relationship with like some guy in the middle of the woods in, I don't know, the middle of
That's
the
not
country
true.
somewhere, and then
That's
she
not true.
leaves like a big city and goes into the backwoods with some
What?
like,
that
guy.
that may not be the show I was watching. I don't know. I gotta ask Kelly. Kelly,
Mhm.
what show were we watching?
90 Day Fiance. It has to.
98. Yeah, she's like out somewhere. What was the show we were watching? 90 Day Fiance we got into? Was that it? Yes. 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 What's that?
Oh, and then the other way is they
And the
move
other
from
way,
the US to
yeah.
the country, which is
Yeah. So they were all old, and no, that wasn't the case.
they're mostly like mismatched, like
Completely mismatched.
big. Some of them you're like, oh, they look like they're in love, but most of them
Yeah.
you're like, what?
There was this one dude. He was just like this big, giant, roly-poly guy.
The
He
one with
got,
no neck.
No, not that guy. The other guy. He's like
Oh,
the man-child one, right? He's like the biggest loser, but he gets like a dozen Latin women. I guess he likes Latin women, and he just has them falling all over him.
Huh.
The one that lives with his mom. He's like maybe like 35.
Oh, the one that dates all the Brazilians, and then he's
Yes.
like, yes, Colt.
He's like, yeah,
Colt.
I don't like you. Colt. Yes.
Colt.
Yes. Yes. I don't get.
I
mean,
think
he's
the same. I'm like, ew, he has like a
man, but
like a soft body. I don't know how to describe his body.
He's got.
Are you talking about me again?
He's got a woman's body, like a 60-year-old woman.
He has like
body.
a nice ass and like
That's not nice. It's,
Okay,
for a woman. Not for a
Speaking of a
man.
woman's body, did you watch an episode of that Chad yet, Jennifer?
Which one?
I don't get that. I
Chad?
don't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
No.
texting you about it.
Yeah. I got
What?
to say about
You were
You should-
lying to me.
What?
it's
Oh,
so
boy.
wrong. I
Read your
don't get it.
texts.
So listen, this chat thing, I got beef with this. Okay.
What's your
You,
beef?
you talk while I read my text.
I've never watched the show. I've only seen the commercials and previews. So they have this, I guess, 30-something-year-old woman
38.
playing this 38-year-old woman playing a teenage boy in high school.
Yep.
Oh,
That's what's
yes.
so brilliant about
this
it.
one.
It's
Yes,
not
yes.
brilliant.
It's
I
just
could tell
funny
she's an old.
stuff.
I could tell she's an old lady. Like,
You didn't even
She's
see
not
the show,
old.
Joe.
She's like 28.
Don't speak about things if you haven't seen it.
38. She's 38.
She's
Yes.
38,
She's 38.
Yes.
but she's like
She's an
little
old
and
lady.
she's,
Yeah, but I
When
can
we-
tell she's like an old lady with cut hair, and she's like, what? Why?
When Pat and I accidentally turned this show on last week or so, we had no idea what it was. And we saw this person playing Chad, and we were looking at each other thinking, that looks like a woman.
Woman, because it is.
what is the what was the was there any rationale or anything about why they chose a woman to play a boy?
It's not that they chose it; she created it because
Oh, she
she always
created it.
wanted to create a certain type of a TV show that she felt she couldn't find on TV, so she created it, and she plays the lead, which is a.
And I think it's
14-year-old boy.
interesting to have a Persian woman portraying a young Persian boy because
Yeah,
of the
it's
gender
interesting.
roles in Iran. It's kind of a fascinating.
It
I
would
want to.
never-
I haven't seen
It
it,
would
but
never
I want to
happen,
see.
right?
What's that?
It would never happen in reality.
So I mean, whenever the gender gap roles whatever were so big when I was there. I don't know how it is since I left, which was in the 80s. But women and men couldn't be in the pool at the same time. Women had to wear full clothing kind of to swim. It was very different how men and women were treated. And my dad, I remember, would cut our hair short, and we would go to the like YMCA as boys to
I remember
swim.
you talked about that.
Yeah. And so that's why it's like interesting to see because as a Persian girl, you're always kind of envious of the boys because they can always do more than what you can do. So it's interesting.
That wasn't hard for you to pull off, was it?
No, that was easy, natural.
What
I was like 4 or 5. Come on.
That was preteen, I think.
Yes, for sure. That would be weird.
right.
Otherwise.
I went
Not really. Joe would probably enjoy it.
I want to segue this into celebrity crushes, but in a weird type of way. Maybe somebody you didn't, or nobody else thinks is attractive. I mean, you do, and you don't care. So mine is. You want to hear?
Yes.
All right. So
yes, Jen and I are not prepared for this.
Yeah, it's not her now. It's her when she was in her 20s, and it's Darren. You're gonna love this. You ready? I need like a drum roll or something. So it is. That's a terrible drum roll.
I know. I don't have the.
Jesus. So Dolly Parton in her 20s.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Dolly Parton. I mean, she's hot. Yeah, she's hot.
Not now. Not now.
She's hot 20s, now. I mean, she's like 70.
100. Like
she
looks great. 20s, let me tell you something. Oof. Tell you what.
Your fiance is much more beautiful than Dolly Parton.
Oh, you're kissing ass now. She is, but like Jesus, Darren.
Dolly Parton. Well, you said you had a deep list.
I have a deep list. I don't want to like be the only one talking though about my celebrity crushes though.
You got to say a few. I mean, I can think of one celebrity crush who is not that he's ugly. He's attractive in a unique way. So
who?
You want me to tell you now? So Joaquin Phoenix.
I get that. No, I get that.
Like he has the cleft palate, and then he also has.
Yeah.
If you ever actually look at his posture, he has like a hunchback and like a weird. His back shoulder blade sticks out really weird. So he has like he's weird, but such a good actor and stuff.
Really is.
That's what makes him attractive, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one from him.
I know, it's weird. It's a random one.
He's not like Latin at all, and it's like
I know, but he's brunette at least still, and he has kind of olive complexion.
So I liked him in
Gladiator.
Signs.
Signs is good. Yeah,
he was really good.
He was also the Joker, and he was really, really good.
He kind of fell off to me. He started getting really, really weird and like
doing the method acting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't buying that. So like whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not like, far left or anything. So like, that's not bad.
I mean, he's not I wouldn't call him handsome, but
I think he used to be. As he got older, he looks a little rough nowadays.
Okay. So I've got one.
Yeah.
And it's a woman.
You always have crushes on women, which is so weird.
I don't think you're gay, Darren. I think you're lying.
He's just doing it for show, right?
You've gone too far with this. You need to come out of the closet.
We talked about her before, Jen. Joe wasn't on that episode.
Yeah.
And we talked
Let's see what Joe's reaction is.
We talked about a movie that she was in, and we were talking about that. It looks like she had bad plastic surgery or something.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if she was done up for the role or what was going on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Helen Hunt.
Oh, no.
She's like a lot of forehead, though. She's a lot of forehead.
When she was in, there's nothing wrong with a lot of forehead.
When she was in As Good as It Gets, I think that was the movie with Jack Nicholson.
That was good.
I just thought she played a really good role. I think she won an Academy Award for that. Yeah, she did. Best Actress. And I don't know that she's ever done anything quite as good. But
All right, so
ever since then, I've liked her.
She was in that series with that one guy, Mad About You, right?
Yeah, and I was never a big fan of that series. And then they brought it
Oh.
back for one season on, I don't know if it was HBO or something, and it didn't last.
Let's cut you off, but I'm cutting you off. So
Cut me off.
Kelly has her favorite. She wants to like kind of join this conversation via text. She says her odd little crush or guilty pleasure crush is Adam Driver.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
He's the guy from the Star Wars movies, Ugliest Sin.
He's not.
He is. He's one of those situations. Is like once he starts talking, his personality really makes up for his ugliness. So
Yeah.
I mean, girls are different than guys. Like you
Wait,
can
is-
be a
He's not
guy.
ugly. He's good looking.
Is it the guy that was on Star
He's
Wars?
not good looking. Yeah, he's not good looking at all.
I'm looking at a
he's-
picture that says otherwise right here in front of me.
He's not. To me, he's not a good looking man. But girls are different. So, and I say this all the time. You could be pretty
You know what, Joe?
and have a
You're-
great personality, and girls will love you. But
Joe,
the
you know what?
opposite it does not work for guys.
Joe,
What?
you're better looking than he is.
I know I am.
I know I am. I'm better looking than most guys.
Most guys. I mean, Kelly is like stepping.
Oh,
gold, man,
jeez.
that much.
I do like him though. I like he has a certain look about him that I like.
Now he is an attractive guy, but I wouldn't say if you saw him in the street, I'd be like, yeah, that's a good-looking guy. I'd be like, I wouldn't. I don't know.
So we were talking about The Notebook,
Yeah.
and one of the main characters is Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
Gosling, yeah.
Yep.
I do not like this guy. I mean, he's a great actor, but when he acts, he always has like this little smirk on his face, like he's about to do something. Like I don't know.
But you like those smart ass guys. Come on, Jen.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but every movie, if you ever pay attention, especially to his like mouth, he's always like smirking, even when he's like
You're right,
sad or mad, he's smirking. And it's like,
Yeah.
stop it, dude. Fix your mouth. Anyway.
So my other ones, because I said I have a deep list. So we just talked about this, Jenny McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're gonna see a theme going on here. What's her name? Oh my God, Christina Applegate.
White blonde women. I don't know.
That's exactly right, Jen.
I do.
We
let me
know
tell you
your
something.
type.
I love me some blondes with light eyes.
I hope
Yeah.
so, because you're with one. So that's good.
That's irrelevant. Whatever.
I'm going to put on my white wig and
Oh,
light my irises and go
Why?
see you tomorrow.
Joe will be like,
What?
hey there.
Hey, but one of my oddball. I have two oddballs that do not fit in my category, and Kelly knows about them, and she could probably say them right now. Is Linda Carter,
Oh, I like
Remember
Linda.
her?
I love Linda Carter.
Wonder Woman, okay,
Yeah.
and Selma Hayek.
Salma Hayek is hot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
Yeah.
a weird one, but it's outside of your whatever.
It is, but it's not because they're all like hourglass. They're
Hmm.
women. I don't like the stick thin.
Twiggies. Them,
I don't. I know I can't say a lot of guys, but I can only speak for myself. But like, there's this obsession with women being super, super thin, and it's like, ugh.
I think it's getting better now. I've noticed like as we went to the mall like
Mm-hmm.
a couple of weeks ago and stuff, and I'm seeing mannequins that are thicker.
Yeah,
I guess. And I'm like, whoa, that's
Well,
weird.
yeah, but really thick. It's like there's no in between anymore. It's like stick thin, and then there's like hefty. Guys, like, just be an average woman. Like, you don't have to like overdo it like with mannequins. But I think if anything, there's like the common thread through like the type of women that I like. It's that they're women. They have a figure. They're not like super thin.
They have curves and
They have curves. Yeah, they're women. That's yeah. Oh, and Heather Locklear.
another
Who's that?
blonde white woman.
Yeah.
Basically, any blonde white woman that's in
Yeah.
shape and good looking.
It's so typical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it though? I mean, I don't know.
But do you
Yeah.
like Carmen Electra, which was around the Jenny McCarthy
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, I used to like her, but again, she was like a woman. She was like shapely, like she
Mhm.
was that. And maybe I'm gonna throw back from the '90s because women in the '90s were shapely. They didn't.
They were.
weren't, like,
That's true.
They
Joe,
weren't. They weren't thick thin.
I want you to watch a movie this weekend, Joe.
Oh, okay.
I want you to watch Brokeback Mountain.
No,
It's not bad. It's good.
I
It's
won't
actually
quit
quite
you, Darren.
romantic. You
Darren, I
know,
won't. I will never quit you, Darren.
It'll make you cry, Joe.
it's
I'm not watching that.
good.
It's very romantic.
I don't care how romantic that is.
It is,
There's-
but
I'm
it's
not
like
watching
it's
Brokeback
romantic
Mountain.
in a way that's not. I mean, Manuel was kind of like looks away whenever there are like sex scenes and stuff, but
Well,
Joe's like,
he's like, I'm gonna take my headphones off. And
Come on,
it's
Joe,
like
be a man. Watch it.
It's like half that movie I would not watch. Like,
Come on.
I'm gonna be like, it's like no. It's bad enough. Like, I'll say this: it's bad enough when you look through your porn sites and you stumble on something you didn't want to look at. Like,
And
I
it
don't want to
catches
like.
your eye and you look anyway.
No, oh my god! I don't want to intentionally.
Let me
see
rewind
this.
over that again.
I don't
Does
know.
that really happen?
I don't want to know what happens in your life, Darren.
there's a whole. I mean, porn is a whole topic in and of itself, but
Oh god, yeah.
there's one actor, I forgot what movie he is in, and I don't know if I can describe him because I don't remember his name. I think he was in a movie called The Piano. Tall, skinny guy with like a really long nose.
Cool story.
What's his name? Anyway, he's kind of like Brody. Something Brody.
Oh yes.
What's his name?
Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also kind of unusually handsome as well.
Kelly says no. But I agree with that. He's on the same as Adam Driver. He's like not necessarily traditional.
Right. He's kind of like skinny and goofy looking, but
But he's got a great personality. And let me
Yeah.
tell you something. And I'm not, gay or anything like that. Like Darren. But he's got
what's
a great
wrong
body.
with that though? He does
He's
have a
got a
great
great
body
body.
Excuse
too.
me, I like women. I just muted myself. I don't know. I don't mute myself.
I was not expecting that like at all. Like I saw him once with the shirt off. I'm like, wow, dude, you're built.
He's like
Ew.
very cut and lean for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Jen, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you watched Brokeback Mountain, were you uncomfortable in the sex scenes?
Only because Manuel was uncomfortable. Probably. It doesn't make me uncomfortable.
But he watched it. I'm surprised that he watched
He
it.
did
actually.
watch it, but he would I think he would look away on the parts that made him feel violated through his eyes. He was
Yeah,
like,
Was he calling him on my name during the scenes?
you wish.
I'm a
Oh,
little
Darren.
surprised. I'm a little surprised you got Manuel to watch this because to me
Yeah.
I am
he's
too,
like,
actually.
he's like a man's man. He's like the Latin lover.
But-
He
He is,
Manuel.
But I mean, the thing
Here I
is,
am.
the trick is
I'm
you just say, let's watch a movie and you hit play without like
Oh, you tricked him.
showing what it is.
And then then he's sitting there thinking, well, I don't want to offend Jen by saying I'm not watching this, and then sits there.
and then he
forces
notices
himself to
me like
watch it.
looking at him like,
Okay,
I'm
let's
gonna
go
do that-
upstairs
I'm
and
gonna-
show
I'm
me how
gonna
much
do
of a
that to
man you
Kelly.
are.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I
I
haven't
should-
watched 50 Shades of Grey myself. I feel like it doesn't, I don't know. I didn't read the books and I didn't watch the show,
I
but
don't even know what I've heard.
I
of that,
don't
but
like
I've
the
never watched
girl,
it.
whatever her name is. I don't like her face. The 50 Shades of Grey girl. I don't like her face.
I know that
Do you
was
want to
like a-
slap it, Jen, or what?
I just go
I would
away.
have beat it with a hammer.
She looks like really pouty, and I
Oh,
felt like the
one of
50 Shades
those.
of Grey
50 Shades of
character
Pout.
needs to be like dominant, but I've never seen it. I'm just assuming. I have no idea.
I've never seen that either. But back to tricking people to watching movies that you want to watch. I should do that to Kelly.
Yes.
What do you want to trick her on?
Oh, so
Tell her
many
to close your
things.
ears.
Don't listen.
She's listening right now. So
It's the thing. Just say, let's watch a movie, make some popcorn, pass the credits so it doesn't show the title, and then boom.
Yeah. Put
You're,
on some
you're
porn.
in.
Porn.
Exactly.
Surprise!
So
Like one of
who's
those
like your all-time favorite actress of all time? You think?
All time.
Of
Jesus,
all
that's a hard one.
time.
I really have to, I have
I
to circle back
know.
to that because I really don't know. Like,
I
Oh my
can
God.
picture her face, but I can't remember her name.
For you or for
She's-
Joe?
For myself. She's won all sorts of Academy Awards.
Is she older or younger?
Yeah, older.
Is she
Oh,
white,
she's so
black,
popular.
Latin,
White.
white?
why is he always gonna be about white, Jen?
I'm just
so
trying to
good.
narrow it down. Older, white. Is she blonde, brunette?
It varies.
It varies. Okay.
I'm not very good at this game.
Is
now.
she like in comedies or
No,
theater?
not really. It's
Is
more. It's
she-
more serious movies.
You're not helping.
Let me
me.
do it.
It's a lot. It's not too much to go on with those. Basically, all older white women actresses.
Okay,
That's my jam. I
Meryl
like older
Streep. There you
white
go.
Oh,
women.
Meryl Streep is your
Yeah.
all-time favorite?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would have guessed Barbara Streisand,
No.
by the way. I don't know why.
That's a stereotype, Jen. Come on.
I know. I know.
If I knew any of her songs, I'd
so
start
wrong.
singing like her.
She has a huge following. I'm just saying.
She's okay.
How about you, Jen? What's yours all time? Male, female doesn't matter because I have an all time favorite male actor, but I don't have a.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you
all-
do? I want
I want to hear the
Yeah.
first. Yeah, I want to hear the all-time male first.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Darren, especially.
there's a couple. So I love Harrison Ford. I think he's great.
I do too.
I love any movies
Did
ever
you ever
been
see
in.
him in interviews? See, interviews, he really sucks. He's like
Oh, he's
not a
terrible.
good talker, but he's a great actor.
No.
He's not a good talker. Like he doesn't
No.
have a personality
No. Very
aside from
shy
his
and
characters.
reserved.
Oh,
Yeah, like who else is like that?
You know who's not like that?
It's-
That's a favorite actor is Jack Nicholson. He is himself. From what I hear.
He's great. He's great too. I love him too. So Harrison Ford, Jack Nicholson, as you mentioned, and I have to say, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, that whole crew. I think they just like knocked it out of the park. Late '90s, early 2000s. I think they were the new Rat Pack of old. You know, they just had that swagger about
Yeah.
them.
They do.
And you know they were pretty much them in every movie, but them in those movies was worth watching. They just had great personalities and it's fun to watch. Any Brad Pitt movie I can watch, and almost any George Clooney movie I can watch. The other one,
those
I
two
really
are both good ones. Yeah.
is Bradley Cooper. I think he has a big range. So if you ever seen, and Kelly's made me watch this, and it's definitely a romantic drama. Was Silver Linings Playbook. He
Oh,
was
I
in that,
haven't
so-
watched that, but I've heard it was really good.
Excellent. And then if you watch Wedding Crashers, he's in that. That's one of his first roles, and he was played kind of the asshole fiance of the lead character.
You saw the one where he was in with Lady Gaga. That one was awesome.
Awesome. Those were actually one of my favorites. And the cool story about that, Star is Born, is he
Star
modeled
is Born,
he modeled his character after Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam.
Oh,
He
interesting.
actually hung out with them for a couple weeks, and that's how he saw that character. Because if you know anything about Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, he's a heavy drinker. He drinks a bottle or two of wine a night
Whoa.
when he's on stage. So he really got the the deep voice from him and the swagger and the heavy drinking from Eddie Vedder.
Interesting.
You're making me thinking of somebody else. He's a male comedian. He drinks scotch or something on the stage all the time, but he's really a good comedian. I'm looking for his name.
Well, while you look for it, my I think all-time favorite actor, and I feel like he's a good human, is Keanu Reeves. I like him a lot. He's really,
the
really
best.
good. He's
I
good.
don't agree with his acting. I think he's like, hey, dude, in every movie.
Sometimes he's a hey dude, but then he has like,
I can't get around Bill and Ted and
oh yeah,
Speed.
I mean that's what
and
got him
and
famous.
Speed. Even when he was in those sci-fi movies,
Matrix.
The Matrix. He's like, dude, I know kung fu. Whoa! It's just like
I think I like him more as a person
yeah
or something, but I like him a lot.
I don't know if it's like his media people branding him this way, but I'm like, God, I suck as a man, a human being, because Keanu Reeves
Right.
is like
he rides
Jesus.
the subway and he just
He's
like
he's like
really
the mo-
generous.
He's the modern Jesus, man. Like he's gonna turn like
He dates
water
women
to
his
wine.
age. It's like
well,
weird.
I don't think that was a big deal because I don't like anybody under like 40. So like I try to like people under 40 and I just don't because their personalities piss me off. But
Is
So
that
does Kelly.
Is that what you like me, Joe?
what's that?
Is that what you like me, Joe? Because I'm over 40.
You're over 40. I like you. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you don't like anyone over 40.
No, I'm sorry. I had to say that. I correct myself. Thank you.
Oh, I was like, wow, how
Wait,
old
I
is
thought you said
Kelly?
he likes
I'm,
people.
I'm so sorry, Kelly. No, anybody under 40, I can't say I don't like. I necessarily would not date. There would just be a huge age gap. I have to get along with the person as far as like.
How old are you now, Joe?
I am 41.
Wow, you
No,
old
you're
man.
not, liar.
How old are you?
42.
No, you're not.
Yeah, 42.
42? Okay.
I lived the rough life.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah. I look rough for 42.
I'm at the age where I forget what my age is. That's
I
what
was
I,
like-
I'm like,
you're
I
like-
think I'm 40.
I know.
Now I don't feel so bad.
I
always
always
have to
forget
ask
my
Pat,
age.
how old am I?
Yeah.
Jen-
And then I have to like
Jen's-
sometimes bust out my calculator and do the math. And I'm like, oh, I'm that old.
I'll say Jen is 44.
All right. You can say that all you want.
She's younger.
She's 46.
No, I'm 40. See, now I have to do them. I think I'm going to be 43 this October.
Really? You're doing the math?
I don't know. I have to do the math. I was born in 79. What is that? 43?
I'm going to be 39.
Yeah, 43. You're like 60, dude.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not that I'm not that old.
No, you're like 54. How old are you?
54.
54.
Oh, wow.
So here's the comedian that I like. You might be surprised by this if you even know him, but he's a stage comedian, Ron White.
Of course. He's raunchy.
He is raunchy, and he makes fun
No
of
idea.
gay people and other people and everybody else, but he's just funny on stage.
He's with the crew that's like, there's your sign. And he's
Yeah.
also with the crew, the tall country guy. With
Yeah,
the,
they did several comedian things together with a group.
Mm-hmm.
But
I love comedians that pick on everybody and they don't care and they don't give a shit. You know, black,
Yeah.
white, Latino.
And they don't do it
Hey,
mean. It's just funny.
lesbian.
If the better, the
I
more
mean-
funny it is, the better. So, Joe, we're almost out of time, but I got one thing for you to write down. I want
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
Kelly to write
I'm
this.
not,
Or
writing, I'm not writing it down.
write this movie down.
Okay.
It stars Helen Hunt, of course.
All right. Uh-huh.
I See You.
Mm.
I see you.
Jen, you did watch that, right?
Mm-hmm. It had a lot of,
You
it had
gotta
some
watch it.
surprise twists and stuff. It was good.
Halfway through the movie, you realize what
What's
was really
going on.
happening. You begin to
Mhm.
realize it. Yeah.
Is it
But
a
it's-
romantic comedy?
No.
Oh, well, then I
It's-
won't like
it's,
it.
It's a thriller.
Okay.
It's more like a suspense. Nothing
Yes,
is
a
actually super
suspense.
scary.
Right. But it's really interesting what was going
It
on.
makes you go like, what's happening? That's what you're saying
and you
halfway
really got
through
to
the movie.
pay attention to the ending.
hmm
Got it.
I
Got it.
See You.
And
I
then
see.
after that, watch Thunder Force.
I got that on my
Wait.
list.
I say it like that because in the movie they're like, "What are we going to call ourselves?" And one woman is like Thunder Force, and they're like, "That sounds dumb, Thunder Force." And they're like, "You have to say Thunder Force."
Before we go, I do have like another one, and it is guilty pleasure, and I've seen it years and years ago. It's called Sky High. Look that up.
I think
it's
I
a
have
good
seen
little.
I
that.
haven't seen
It's
that
a
one.
good family movie, and I love it. Love it. Love it.
Let me look it up. Hold on. Sky
High.
High. Is that
It's a
like with the
great
same
family
the same movie that's with the two kids that are spy
Not Spy Kids. No.
kids? I was like spy
No.
hunters.
My
spy
kids-
some-
My kids love that, but no, not Spy Kids. It's
So,
a good
Joe,
family movie. Yeah.
For our kids show, are you going to bring your kids on?
I am. We're going to bring Ryan and
Okay.
Rachel, my kids, on, as well as I believe, if we can get them on, Kelly's nephews, Dylan and Aiden. And
Wow.
Wow, that's a
Also-
lot of kids.
That's going to take up the hour right there.
we'll spend like 20 minutes with them, 30 minutes, but and also Finn. So, they all have their perspective, ages ranging from 5 years old all the way up to 12 years old, and seeing how COVID has affected their school life, and which it has. And we're going to give them a voice and a platform to speak on, because we rarely hear for what the kids have to say.
I think it's going to be really interesting to hear the difference between the opposite end. So like the 5-year-old who doesn't really know what school is supposed to be like yet necessarily, and a 12-year-old who went through regular school for so long and now is seeing a different way of learning.
I've heard it, and it's quite the contrast. And when this is your first experience to school, it's kind of sad, because I cannot imagine being that age, and this is what the normal is for you at that point.
We're out of time.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have fun in California, Darren.
I will.